Now we are, yes.
Hell yeah.
Another success.
Cheers.
Cheers, dude. Another episode of this successful failure. And today I have the very funny Ben Nickelson.
Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for coming, man.
Of course. It was so great, like, talking to your girlfriend when you came in here, and I, like, was being weird, like, so you guys are either dating, right? You're like, yeah, we're together. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. It's good.
It's good.
In a place like this, you better be fucking dating, dude. This is our property. No, but I like, it's so funny. I'd been seeing this girl recently, and she, I told her that I was like, yo, my sister and her boyfriend they're pregnant. I hate that when people do like, we're pregnant. No, like, it's her. Like anything a guy can do to get it. I was like, yeah. We're
pregnant.
Yeah, we can only have 200 milligrams of caffeine. we are not smoking cigarettes. But like this girl I've been seeing, I told her, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be an uncle, and I'll never think about it. Like I'll never until this kid comes out. I'm not gonna fucking think about it.
That's how it usually is, though. Like,
right?
How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. Okay, yeah, but that's how it, like, usually is. When, like, I remember when I mean, I'm not an uncle or anything, but like. One of my best friends, when he had a kid, like, no one really cared. I don't even think he did until he saw the kid, and that's where, like, and this dude is like the homie where he doesn't show emotion, and he just broke down and cried, dude. Yeah, so
see, I need a good cry that's not like induced by mushrooms. I love that, like, you still, like, even like being like the secondhand, like the uncle, I react the same way a father would. That's how I can glob on like,
our baby.
Yeah, it was our cry. Like, yes, we bawled. Yeah. We're an uncle. But yeah, every time I call my brother now, I'm like, hey, don't forget, you're going to be an uncle. He's like, God, I have not been thinking about it at all. Like, but anyway, like, so this girl I've been seeing, I told her that. I was like, yeah, so like my sister, like, she's going to have a kid. She goes, oh my God, like, congratulations. Like, obviously, I'm like, they're keeping it. She's like, okay, good. Like,
that's like a thing now you got to really be aware of to ask.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the first thing I asked my sister. Yeah. I'm like, are we...
Yeah.
We're keeping it. Like, is it like her boyfriend is sitting with her? I'm like, so who's the dad? Like, me and my brother made all the same stupid jokes. But this girl I've been seeing, and she goes, so they're married? I was like, oh no, not yet, but they will be. She goes, oh. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, you fucked me on the first date, dude. You don't get to do that. Like, oh, or are they together? Oh, that sounds like trouble. Like, you fucking what? Like, the first date you had sex with me. You don't get to judge my sister. It's insane. That was so funny.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. I had an older brother, but he passed away from cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
I'm sorry to say that on the pod. Like, we're at the beginning. Don't worry, we're bringing another one in. Yeah. They called my nephew my brother. Yeah. We were all debating on like names and shit. Like, you were just at our show, the Shenanigans, and before boxing, because I was supposed to box. Like, shout out Malik B. Is he an actual professional, like a professional boxer? So there's no way I could really train because I've never been in a fucking fight in my life. But I worked out a bunch and everything. And like the day before the show, my sister calls me and she's like, guess what? And like holds up the X-ray baby thing. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's fucking great. Like, I might die tomorrow. And like, then they'll have to name the kid Ben. Like, that'd be like, you have to name it Ben now. Or you have to name it Malik because he killed me. Yeah. We're naming it after my brother's murderer. They'll name the first one Malik and then the other one Cancer for my older brother.
Oh my God.
You don't get to not laugh at that. What are your kids' names? Malik, my younger brother's murderer, and Cancer, my older brother's murderer. This is the third baby. Didn't make it. Its name was Jaundice, but like that was our third baby.
Oh my fucking God, dude!
I'm gonna be a great uncle, dude. I can't fucking wait.
You are a nanny too.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude! I'm like off work until August 2nd. So like only one more week. Yeah. Not being this fucking freelance dad. But she's over in Paris, and like he doesn't. His father passed away of COVID before I met them.
Damn.
Right. But when I went in for the interview, I looked around at all the photos and I like saw like old photos of him and everything, and I was like, oh man, I look a lot like this guy. Like,
no kidding.
Maybe she, but like,
no kidding.
Yeah,
dude.
like, but she had me like 3 days before Shenanigans. I was in Paris because she needed.
You were?
Yeah, she needed someone to fly her child to Paris.
Wait, what, dude?
Yeah, no joke. Like, so almost exactly a week before Shenanigans. Yeah, it was a Sunday. I woke up to a text. She's like, listen, this is crazy. Like, I'm going to ask you something crazy right now. I was like, hit me with it, dude. She like,
you were expecting her to ask to fuck, huh?
No. Like, hey, listen, I need the job. Like, I need the money. This widow has to keep paying. But like, she's like, I really need someone to fly my child to like Paris, and like, if you'd like, I'll put you up in a hotel and everything. I'm like, as long as I can get back by Thursday, because I had more prep to do for the show.
Okay.
She's like, okay, sure. So I fly with him. He was great on the flight. He's 4.
Oh wow,
like
dude! Damn,
like kid.
That's crazy.
I know it. And so he was great on the flight. Like, he was so great. She had me feed him like 2 little kid melatonins, which is so strange. Like, no matter what, like now as an adult, when I take him, I'm like, oh, I drugged a kid to like induced him falling asleep.
To go to Paris.
Yeah, and 2 of those little gummies just knocked him out. 14 hours. Dude. It was insane.
Damn.
But we get there, and she was so great about everything. She like put me up in a hotel, and like we take a cab to that hotel, and she like opens the door. She's like, all right, well, enjoy Paris.
That was it?
That was it. That's like, and then I flew back 2 days later. I was there for like 48 hours.
What'd you do out there, dude?
I walked to Notre Dame. It's still on fire. For those of you who want to know, it's still in flames. I walked to the Eiffel Tower. I got some snail. Escargot's great.
Dude, it's great. Yeah.
It's so good.
Dude. Yeah.
I love how like it comes out with like, because obviously they keep it in the shell or everything. Like, I don't know why I'm saying obviously. It's my first time having it, but they bring it out, and it was like, I think I got 6 of them, and they give you like the same kind of thing that you like get lobster out of or whatever, and then like little grippy tongs. So my first thought is, I'm like, oh, do I snap this thing open? And like looking around the restaurant, I'm like, is anybody else eating fucking snail right now? Like, like I was about to, dude. But then I didn't snap any of them, thank God, because like I text my dad, I'm like, yeah, like 10 hours ahead, I'm like, yo, do I smash this thing right now?
It's fucking 2 a.m. over here.
He's like, no, scoop it out, scoop it out, scoop it out. It's great. It just tastes kind of like it's got like at least the way I had it, it was like kind of like an aioli sauce. Yeah,
exactly. So I went to France once. My girlfriend's French. So,
oh, no way.
Yeah, she took me to Paris and stuff like that. I've only been once. Was that your first time?
Yeah.
Paris? Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, it's a great fucking city,
it's
man.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing.
I love cities. It's like pretty, I guess it's like a mostly European thing, unless you're like in the Midwest out here, but like cities where like almost all of the buildings are like the same height. There's very few skyscrapers, or at least like where I was. I know there's like that area of it, but the majority of like the city of Paris is like, it's like the same altitude around.
Yeah.
I love that feeling. Like you're in these like alleys and shit. It's
beautiful, dude. It's a beautiful city. Like you'll just be walking and all of a sudden you just come out of like an alley and there's just this beautiful, like, it's great, dude.
And it's amazing how much of it like is so identical to like opening shots of movies where they're in Paris, You're like, I'm walking around, I'm like, oh yeah, man, like it's all these pigeons on old buildings and shit. You're like, wow, I'm really here. I met both homeless people that live in Paris. There's like none of them. There's no homeless people and there's no fat people.
None.
Like just so like.
And they take pride in that, dude.
Yeah, I would too.
Their Parisians are very prideful.
Yeah.
Very prideful.
Parisians is like, that's the only pretentious thing that they do now.
Parisians?
Is like call themselves Parisians.
It's really like a different thing. Like out of all of France, everyone from Paris is just kind of like a high nose, and everyone around that in the country are just like, leave them alone. Like, they're just Parisians.
You know, it was fun. Like I talked to my dad about that too. I was like, I didn't really experience too much like snootiness or anything. And I was saying stupid shit. Like I kept forgetting like because what bon voyage is goodbye, right? I kept saying adios and like gracias. And I'm not joking. It was so embarrassing. I left so many like restaurants after like I'd go in and I'm like, hi, I'm Ben in the city of love. Table for one, please. And they like sit me down like, you fucking loser. Like a glass of wine and I'm leaving. Gracias. It was so stupid. And I couldn't help it. Like I wasn't doing it to be funny. I just kept like fucking up. It's so dumb, dude. But yeah, they were so nice. Everybody there was super nice and hot. So hot. All of them are hot.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. It's a great city, man.
It was
great city. So you went there for 2 days, came back to Shenanigans, and you got fucked up by
Nate Welch. Dude. Shout out nasty Nate Welch. That's right. I mean, I almost had him running scared too. The professional boxer bails. I'm like, all right, Nate, I'll take it easy on you, bro.
That's hilarious.
He I told the guy who was shooting it for us, his name's Eric. Mm-hmm. He came like first to like set up all the cameras and everything. He's like, so are you scared? I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm fucking scared.
You look scared.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't be like talked to for like 2 hours before those things happen. Like Miranda and JP will tell you, they're like, yeah, we don't talk to Ben on show day. Like not until after, like until I'm out of my head. But he's like setting up the cameras and everything. He's like, are you nervous? I'm like, yeah, but like the pro fighter like dropped out. I mean, like obviously. But then he's like, oh, so who are you fighting? I was like, Nate. He's like, that's honestly almost probably worse. Because like you're either gonna find like someone who was like trained to hit you a certain way.
10% to know what 10% is.
But instead it's just like this guy who loves to fight.
Yeah. You know? Smoking stogies while he's fucking beating you up.
I was scared shitless.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
I heard I got JP actually here yesterday, and he was telling me a lot about the kind of, not a lot, but the behind the scenes stuff. It sounds like you guys are, that show's about to pop off, dude.
Yeah.
That's great.
We hope so, man. Like, I mean, we love throwing it. We really do. Like,
it shows. It definitely shows.
Thinking of the ideas is like one of the most fun things that we go through, I think, is just like, and we always know what will definitely work, where we're like, this is a blessing. No matter who gets this, like you're going to have a great set or whatever. The stilts were that way. We're like, that's going to kill the fuse, the little.
Yeah, that was a good one, dude.
We
that was
knew
a great
that would work.
The bean thing, yeah.
The OG idea was JP wanted to like, we were going to buy like fireproof pants and a shirt and like wrap somebody in it. We're like, okay, we'll drop like $200 on like a full like fireproof outfit. Fuck? So at first we're like, that would be great. And it's a great visual, especially if we get someone like really fat, then we can just, you know what I mean? And then like, there's so much wrap around them. And then, but then like with the amount of like gym centric stuff that we were doing, like gymnastic stuff.
Oh, okay.
I came in like a couple days before and I was like, what if we make them do like a balance beam and we can like rotate it a couple times and there's different views. And that ended up working the best. But dude, testing it, we were so scared because it was like, I mean, you could probably see it after we put it up. Like it burns that wood, like dark. Yeah. We're like, we're going to like really hurt someone's feet, but it ended up working out. Shout out Luke Benko. He was great.
No, that's a great show. So I didn't know this. You do photography.
Yeah.
You're a photographer, dude.
That's actually how I met a lot of the comics in the scene.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. So you started photography before you went into comedy?
I did improv back in St. Louis where I grew up.
Okay.
And I knew, and everybody that I was on the team with was like, you just need to do stand up. Like you go do that. And that was my goal in the long run. But when I moved out here, it was September of 2019 and I had like just bought a new camera and I was like, I was working at Trader Joe's and I wanted to do that a lot less hours, but like make money off of shit that like I enjoy and that I could like meet some cool people with.
Right.
So I bought a bunch of like portrait photography, like lights and backdrops, and it's a joke of a job, but like, and people out here charge way too much.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's so stupid.
It is really crazy. For like headshots too, right?
Yeah. And it's done. Like, unless you have like a studio, you should not pay more than $200. I'm telling you now, like, do not let anybody charge you more than $200. But because like you're essentially just paying for their equipment most of the time. You know what I mean? Like there is like the way I do portraits, there's like, I charge a little more because I don't like them to be like just the actors.
Exactly.
Headshots.
Like you got some style to it. You got some like dramatization with the lighting.
It has to be that way because like
you stick out.
Anybody can do it anyway.
Like
you know
at
what
the
I
park,
mean?
right? Like
yeah,
right. Like let's go take headshots at a park.
And then when you see those people, like wedding photographers and shit. I've done that gig. That's embarrassing. But like, yeah, dude, I love taking photos. It kind of it made me like fearful for stand up too, like catching any kind of success, because once you start doing something that you like, mostly like artistic shit, and then you start getting paid for it, you're like, at least for me personally, I'm like, man, I kind of resent this shit now, where I'm like, oh, I'm getting paid to do this thing that I love, and now it's a job, like a capital J job. And then you start, like, for me, sometimes, like, I start framing it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going into another shift at fucking Trader Joe's, but someone's just coming over for photos. Like, it's just like, I start framing it weird in my head. And then sometimes stand-up is that way, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to go make, none of us make much money at our level. I'm going to go make $20. I'm doing the same 10 minutes again. Fuck. Like, it just starts feeling weird. But yeah, I love photography. Do you take photos?
I don't take photos, no. I like just with the iPhone and stuff like that, right? Like in terms of the camera, I'm very dumb with the camera. I'm like not technically inclined with it.
Oh, it's so fun. What do you like? Because your girlfriend paints. What do you like to? Do you have like fun little hobbies?
Well, I work in film, and like so I edit. I do know how to film like if you give me a camera and like I have a team, I kind of know what I'm doing, right? But I write usually, like, and write and edit. Yeah, like I don't do anything artistic like this. I'm more so kind of just like on the technical side of creativity, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like my only painting is that one, and it just looks like a giant vagina.
That one's yours?
Yeah, that's my only one.
That's the one that sticks out the most. High value.
High value.
High value.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I came here horny. Maybe that's why. It's the heat, bro.
Yeah, it's the heat.
You hear that about like there are different times of year where, like, I mean, statistically, where people are getting more pregnant. Shout out my sister, February. We know when y'all fucked, okay? But apparently, like, when it gets hot outside, people just like they're.
I don't know if you noticed, I've only been doing it for 2 months, but I noticed.
You're like, I don't know if you noticed my naked girlfriend in there, dude. Yeah, we've been fucking. It's wild.
But like it was cold in the beginning when I started, and then all of a sudden when the heat came, everyone was just telling horny jokes, like sex jokes, cum jokes, and it was just like, what the fuck? Like, we were trying to stay away from this for like 2 weeks, and all of a sudden this summer's here.
It's insane.
It's wild, dude. It is really wild, and everyone's doing it, guys and girls, and whatever they are,
Well, and it's like it's so. That makes me think about like. Your brain is like always on like a cyclical system year by year.
Right.
Like I was thinking the other day about like, cause now we're on like where we would have been in summer break and any time that we were in school. And there is just like a mental, like there's like a click that goes on whether you're working or not, where you're like, oh, I was on summer vacation this time 5 years ago or whatever. And then like, your outlook for day by day kind of is the same way and everything. Yeah.
Like you don't feel like you're going to have a job throughout the summer, right? Like it's just going to be like, I get to do stand up all summer.
Yeah.
And then rent comes around.
Yeah. And then and actually, stand up's like kind of the same way too. Cause it's like, apparently during the summer, people are less likely it's more of like a winter art. Apparently, like people are like, cause they're cooped up, they want to go out and do a thing.
I see.
But in the summer, you're like, yeah, they'll go out to a club, but like there's so many other things going on in the summer anyway. I forget who told me that, but like apparently that's like the stat for like ticket sales or something in the summer.
Well,
okay,
like
that makes sense. Yeah, I thought so too. I love the winter, dude.
I hate the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not from here originally.
Born in Hawaii, raised in Vegas.
Oh, okay. What island?
Oahu.
Oahu.
Yeah, yeah.
Oahu to Vegas.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but it's Vegas is actually called the ninth island. All the locals in Hawaii will call Vegas the ninth island because a lot of locals will move there, and it's kind of like the same thing where Vegas is an island on its own. There's just no water.
That's sick. That
Yeah.
What island number? You said the ninth. The
Yeah,
ninth
island.
island.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to get these Howleys back. We got to invade, dude. Where are the whites going? Fucking Vegas. Yeah. Let's get their money. It's like, whoa, wait, but that's like, and it's like the same thing with, this is a big jump, but like the same thing with Native Americans. We're like, how do we get our money back? We're gonna make all these casinos.
Well, dude, they got tons of money, or they had like, I don't know if you know the movie. It's coming out in October, but Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, the Scorsese thing.
Dude, yeah,
it looks sick.
Dude,
Yeah.
so I read the book, and
Okay.
that story is fucking wild. Basically, what it is these Native Americans, obviously the U.S. government took their land, but the Native Americans fought specifically for this land in Oklahoma because they knew that there was oil under there. So, dude, this is what they used to do. Fucking like these Americans would marry into the Indian family.
Oh my
and
god.
and basically kill them for their land and their money.
And
Dude,
oil.
This is
The
this is
prospect of
hundreds of
oil.
millions of dollars back in like 1920. So like the estate was insane, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that just started like I started thinking about it. I was like, dude, this probably happened like everywhere, and it really did.
Yeah,
dude, like
for
Big
sure.
Bear, it happened in Big Bear.
Oh no way.
Yeah, dude. There's I forget what they were called, like what like tribe they were, but they were fine doing their thing, and then an American got there, and you know the Redlands, how they have farming down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they wanted water to grow agriculture down there. So they got the water from that mountain, and they took all that fucking land from Big Bear Lake.
Man, that
Killed all the grizzly bears.
all that depresses me, and then also like realizing right now I'm like, oh, Big Bear does sound like a Native American thing, and I'm just now putting it
Dude, and
together.
the
Yeah.
thing is that they looked at these bears as family and ancestors, and then they just came in there and fucking wiped them all out, dude. Took them like 10 years or something. This is back in like the end of the 1800s.
Jesus,
It's crazy, dude, like how much of that stuff happened, but we don't really know about that.
Yeah,
You know, they like kind of like bury that stuff into everything else, and it's fucking insane. Are you
I hope another bear takes out Leo Dio in this new Scorsese movie. I hope like the bears get to Leo again. Like, yeah, all right, we'll sign you on, but this bear's gonna fuck you again, dude. Every like, who is it? Like that'll be like the Rob Schneider and all Adam Sandler movies. Like in every movie, Leo gets hit by a bear. You're like, when's it coming? Yeah, I hate Leo Dio, but I love what those fucking bears do to him, dude. Titanic remastered.
some fucking polar bear
Polar bear goes on.
on the iceberg?
It pans out as it's sinking. The bears are just waiting on him. Like, yeah, we made sure that door's too small. The bears are. He starts sinking, and you just see a bunch of bears like pulling under. The white bear. The white bear.
Black bears.
What were we gonna ask though? I cut you off.
Oh
sorry.
no, I fucking forgot. That's a funny bit though.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm no
Polar bear.
I'm no writer. The shit that works for me is always what'll come off the cuff.
Dude, well, now that we're talking about it, you're probably one of the comedians where, again, I've only been doing this for 2 months, but you were one where immediately when you go on stage, bro, I'm captivated. Like,
Oh,
you
thank
know
you,
how to
man.
fucking just grab everyone's attention. I don't know what it is, dude. I really
Thank
don't know.
you,
I think it's
man.
a smile, dude. Seriously, it's just a charisma. Where as soon as you get up there, I'm just like, I want to hear what this dude has to say.
Someone asked me the other day, I was at the Improv. It was Mandy. It was Mandy Robbins who we put on the stilts. She's
Right.
like, Ben, I feel like you got like a little bit of riz when you're talking to women. Do you? I'm like, honestly, I've never been that person. Like this, I've never been the. Never been the smile guy, but the people say that about my smile. Thank you, man. I'm working on my writing lately because I can always make it work if I'm just like in the moment and like riffing and having fun. But the second I sit down and put pen to paper, like a lot of times that's where I have
Get
the most
the fuck
issue.
out of here, dude.
Yeah, I think it's
If
because
you
like
didn't tell me that, I would have never known. I thought everything you had said was just like,
I think
bits.
I have a big habit of like of when I'm like working into like something that I've like been thinking about or working on, and I'm like, I've almost broken the habit, but my tone will change and people can hear that. You know what I mean? They're like,
yeah, 100%.
I hear this piece of shit going into written material.
I feel that.
And the biggest trick really is always, JP would like always get mad at me because I'll test jokes out on them, but I won't preface it with like, hey, what do you think of this joke?
You
it's
just
like,
go right into it.
Yeah, you're talking and then it's like, oh wait, that makes me think. And then and it pisses JP off so much. JP's like, no, I want you to tell me when, I don't want you to trick me. I'm like, that's the whole art is like making them think that like, this is the first time you're saying it. And like, when I think about that, I'm like, that's always the most fun thing to me is like, what has this room been talking about? What does this person look like to me? That's always the more interesting thing to me than like my thoughts on the world or whatever.
Wow. So that's your process then is this your process?
If I could call it a process with a show, like lately what I've been kind of just like, cause the best stuff, anybody I think will tell you with stand up is like the best stuff you always just like comes to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're almost like, I don't have to take this to a mic. I know this is funny. Like I know this will work. And then it's a lot like, what I used to say was it's like, sometimes you're given a house and you're like, oh, sick. Like I can live in there. And other times you're given the materials to build a house. That's what it feels like to me all the time. Is like, okay, how do I make all these pieces work together and like build this house, build this joke? And other times they're just like, oh, you got like a killer bit, just sitting here and thinking. It just kind of hits you like God, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know. The process is ever changing. I just want people to remember what I say and think it's funny, and then get it out of their head.
So, like you were talking about, like a 10-minute set. And that 10-minute set, how much of it is kind of riffing, and then how much is it written material? Or
I think the best stuff always is like performers that stick out to me are like I love Rory Scovel. Like I love Rory, and Rory's a great example of someone who's like. He really toes the line between like improvisation and like this written out like philosophical idea. Oh, wow. But it never feels like that. It feels like this is just like this silly guy who is talking. Right. None of it ever feels planned or anything like that. So on shows, usually what I like to do is like open with a bunch of riffing and then whatever the first thing that I think of that is written, like I'll link that joke into whatever I was saying.
Holy shit, dude!
Like I write out
crazy.
I write out like a set list in case I'm like, these people don't fucking like me. I'm gonna go to the math jokes or whatever, and then, but like most of the time, like when I'm having the most fun and when I think people have the most fun watching me is when I'm just up there goofing and riffing around and talking to people because it should always feel like a conversation with the audience, right? Like that's the art, but like.
Maybe that's why I think you're so welcoming when you step on stage because of that. You just your material is just in the present.
I feel like the best comics is it's always supposed to feel like a conversation with the audience. What feels more like a conversation than like you're not even talking about yourself or not? That doesn't make any sense. But like it's just like. Everybody is actively with you the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. Like where like at any time you can be, this also just sounds like, oh, you're just talking about crowd work, but it like, yeah, just like I don't know. I have a lot of trouble like sitting and like writing. I just get impatient with it. I'm like, I'd rather just go to the stage and say some of these thoughts and see what's funny, you know? Yeah. But yeah.
When you first started stand up, did you immediately go into like open mics or did you do like improv mics? Like, cause that's kind of like my process, right? Or it has been, right? Like I get comfortable with the improv mics.
Yeah. I think that like when I started, they say with like any skill, like when you're starting, you're kind of like the beginning when you start is the same as like when you've mastered it. You're like, because you're ignorant here and you don't know, you don't know like what's going to work. Yeah. There's a great thing. I think it was like this graph about like photography. It's about like learning a skill basically. Okay. But at the beginning, you're ignorant and you have like an idea of how the art is supposed to be done. And your ignorance makes you really good at it because you're not like aware of these little nuances and things you're doing. You've just seen it done in a certain way and then you'll do it that way. the more you learn about it and the more knowledgeable you are about it, the worse you get for a period until you kind of plateau. And then you start like becoming more like self-aware or whatever. You kind of hone it. And then you're kind of back to the beginning, but it's because you're like so practiced at like capturing that first thing. It's the same thing with photography. You'll like take a photo and you're like, yeah, this is pretty good. And someone's like, no, dude, that's like amazing. Like, look at this composition. Then every time you take a photo after that, you're thinking about like, okay, how do I compose this shot? Is the lighting right? Is my depth of field right? Yeah. The more you start thinking, the worse you kind of get for a bit because you're aware of the nuances, right? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that is interesting.
I'll have to send that to you. It's this really interesting like graph thing that I saw about like learning. It's like any skill.
It's like we make it more complicated than it needs to be.
Exactly.
Right?
But you have to because like you don't know why you're good at the beginning. You know what I mean? It's because you're ignorant to the art. But like
that is so crazy.
Isn't that really cool? The second I saw that, I was like, that sticks exactly
out so much.
Isn't that wild?
That is so crazy.
I love it. So I'm down here still. Like I'm in that little plateau stage. I'm at my worst.
How long have you been doing stand-up? You've been doing it 4 years?
This is it'll be starting my 4th year in September.
Okay.
Or actually, I guess technically January. So come January, I'll be starting my 4th year. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
I moved here in fucking 2019 in September.
Right before it got crazy.
Right before it happened. And then, like, when that happened, I was like, dude, should I just go home? Like, is this a fucking sign?
Like a lot
God?
of people did.
Yeah. Like, should I leave? I'm glad I didn't.
Right.
But at the same time, it's funny talking to, like, comics now who were here before that. And they're like, oh, you missed the best LA. Like, you missed, like, the people yeah.
I'm not going to lie, it was.
That's what I've heard.
It was, dude. Because I've been here since 2016, I think. And even, like, working on film sets, dude. Like, it was a dream. I was only a production assistant, but it was a dream just being on set every day for 18 hours. You know what I mean? And then after everything happened, you go back on set after the pandemic, and it was completely different, dude. Everyone treated each other differently. It was awful, man. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. It feels like right now, everyone's kind of the psychological effect that it had on us. It feels like it's kind of like ending. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people are coming out now, and a lot of people aren't as sensitive as they used to be, you know, but
it definitely had like insane long-standing effects.
Dude,
that, like you're totally right. Like we're coming out of it, and like every day I'm like, oh dude, like that definitely did this to me.
Yeah.
Like I definitely like started thinking this way because of the pandemic or whatever.
Right.
And now you're totally right about that. It's crazy you said that.
And I felt it even at Shenanigans, dude. You can just feel it. Like you can feel in the air that everyone's kind of like that weight and that, I don't know, what everyone's opinion is just lifted off their shoulders. And it's like, all right, let's put that on the back burner and just be regular people now.
Yeah.
And it's great, dude. It's great. You know,
self-awareness comes at a fucking price.
Yeah.
It feels like, I think even before the pandemic, we were in such like a period of like, everybody's learning a lot about like the world that we live in.
Yeah.
And like, we all just became more conscious of ourselves and the people we were around.
Right.
And then we all shared this like fucked up thing together.
Yeah.
And now we're almost, again, like back to like the skill tree thing. It's like, we're almost getting back to this first thing where we're like, oh, I don't actually give a fuck about you. I understand of what you've been through,
right.
And, like your life, but like, we're back to like, I don't give a shit. Like, I have my own shit to worry about. Yeah. I don't care about you.
Now, you look like someone who likes conspiracy theories.
There are a couple that I do dig.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which ones?
I love because I love like film, and I'm sure we share that. Yeah, I love the Kubrick
I was
stuff
just talking about
the
that
moon.
with Ganem, dude.
Yeah,
dude. And because he doesn't believe any of that stuff. And then I told him it was just like there was a delay in the phone call. Yeah, but apparently I put it up on YouTube and I got fucking...
Seems like a thing that YouTube would love. I feel like that one is so interesting because it's like we had so much to gain with like being successful in the moon landing and like equally lying, right?
Yeah,
like
it was like a power move.
Yeah, like lying would have helped just as much as that goes without saying with like a lie, but like there was so much like with the Soviet Union and all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we're in this race. we have, I mean, the greatest film industry in the world. Like,
exactly. Kubrick, the greatest filmmaker in the fucking world, in history almost.
He's a piece of work for sure.
Yeah,
I do love Kubrick, but I shouldn't say I love. Like I respect Kubrick a lot. Yeah. There's just there's like it, like even like morally it feels like okay. You know what I mean? Like where it's like I wouldn't be upset if they did. I really would.
Oh, okay. The moon landing thing.
Yeah. If they lied, it's like, especially now that we've gotten this far. It's like, like we had so much to lose and to gain. To like, fucking lie, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're America, dude. Number one.
We gotta get. It's like, that flag's up there, sure. It's a McDonald's flag.
It's Grimace putting the flag up there.
Grimace. You know what Grimace actually is?
He's a fucking taste bud.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, dude.
That's so dumb.
That's so weird. That is so weird. They have the Hamburglar and then they make Grimace as a taste bud. Like who the fuck did that?
I don't know.
Like what marketer was like, oh, we'll do taste buds.
We're gonna make him the shape of a clit, but but like make him like the color of gum, you know? The taste bud. Who the fuck?
I know, dude. So wild.
Okay, yeah, I like the Kubrick. Like I like that one. I'm trying to think if there are other ones that I like.
Aliens.
I mean, they're here, dude.
They're here. I mean, did you see yesterday? A UFO whistleblower testified saying that the U.S. government has been hiding alien things. And then another, I don't know if it's the same case, but I think 2 ex-military people admitted that they did collect, like that they saw like gray people or something like that. I didn't read the whole article.
I really hope they're gray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I hope that
another fucking thing that we have to worry about.
I hope that they're
the
like
gray people,
slimy. You know, they have like the unblinking eyes or whatever. I hope they're like exactly the iteration that we think of.
No sexual like
no organs.
Yeah, no organs.
Which sucks because I'm so turned on by them. That's the worst part. It's like just in time for the Barbie movie. We came out with this alien with no cock or puss. Those are the most like abrasive, like intense ways of saying genitalia. Cock and puss. Like those are the worst ways to put it. They're like, well, I guess I can't be too mad at him. He said
cock.
He said cock, so it's like, cock is rough. Let me touch your cock. Ugh. I know you're gonna squeeze. Like you call it a cock, you're squeezing, dude. Let me see your puss. Ugh. What? I just want to look at it. It must have been your painting that inspired me.
I mean, it's an inspirational painting for a lot of people.
Oh man, it looks infected. I will say
dude. It's green for the people. I'll maybe show you guys later, but
that shit's great.
It's disgusting.
I fucking
what it was supposed to be is I had a dream once about you watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So Mordor.
Yeah.
The tower. I had a dream that it was the tower, but it was like Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
The red and. The bottom half was supposed to be its like reflection, and I obviously fucked it up.
And now, now that I look at it, it looks like Sauron's eye.
Yeah, it does actually.
That'd be a great. You remember the like, is it blue or is it yellow or blue jacket thing? You make a painting that's like, is it Sauron's eye or a puss? Either way, I'm putting a ring on it, dude.
Holy shit, I cannot believe you're covering this shit off the top of your head, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I sat down and tried to write this, it'd be I have to start showing people my journals and shit because it'd be like, ugh, how have you ever done well on stage, dude? This is awful. But I think I'm trying to think of another one that I do like. I feel like I've heard so much about the 9/11 stuff that I just like I don't care now.
Yeah.
I can't handle watching those videos though. Like that shit. Like and now we're far enough away from it that people are making like intense memes. And
are they really?
Those?
No.
Have you seen that one? It's the they play the Transformers song by Linkin Park. But it like they do this like film she's like doing the car. It's too much.
Right to the fucking tower.
It's like Megatron. Like
I saw that one. That was fucking.
That one's brutal.
That was a good one, man.
That one is really good. That's like a being given a house meme. Like you just like the second I saw that, I was like, this has 10K. We're gonna see this everywhere. Like this only has 10,000 likes right now. Tomorrow it's gonna be millions.
Millions, dude. That shit was funny.
Because we all know what's good, you know. Like we have such like a. I think that's one of the things with like the it's kind of interesting about the writer strike. Like the woman that I work for, she, without disclosing anything, she's on like a talk show in the morning.
Okay.
And it's shut down because of the writer strike.
Oh, wow.
And anybody and their mother would watch this show and be like, there's people who write for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where you're like, there's writers for this. Things like that will be on like, they'll be on the low. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like maybe those writers don't deserve jobs. Yeah. Like I don't know.
And TV, they get paid bank, dude.
Me early in the podcast, I hate writing. Fuck this strike, dude. Like, fuck these losers.
Go to work, dude.
Go to work, dude. Be a nanny, you dummy.
You go to Paris? Come on now.
Dude, come on. I will say, like, if like of the jobs you can have in LA while you're pursuing some like art thing or whatever, like it's the gig. Like,
dude, especially
the hours are perfect.
Fucking giving you flights to Paris, bro.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't nanny anywhere but LA or New York because like everybody here is like wealthy. Any parent who needs a nanny in LA is like,
that's very true.
Right?
That
like,
is very true.
I don't know why I didn't put it together the first 2 years that I lived
true.
here. Yeah.
I just hate kids.
I don't. Me too. But I mean, I was great at trigonometry in school, and I didn't end up doing anything with math. I'm great at watching kids. That's awful. I'm great at watching kids.
I love what I do.
Yeah, I used to do a bit about that where I was like, it's a great gig, but you can't ask for extra hours. It just sounds awful. Like, can I watch your kid a little bit this week?
Oh, the overnight hours.
Yeah. It's like anything while he's sleeping, you know. You need a babysitter.
That's fucking awful.
Oh my god. That's why I stopped doing it for a bit because like it would either just like kill or people would be like, ugh.
I think it's a good joke. That's a good joke. You gotta keep that in.
I think there's got to be one more conspiracy theory that I really buy. I do think COVID was made in a lab. I don't know how it got out.
It's already been said that it's made in the lab.
I have like a good I feel like I just like always like even when like it first broke, I have such a great sense of when I'm being lied to. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
like
dude.
I think it came from just when I was a kid. Like I don't know what would have happened, but like I know when I'm not being told the whole truth, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves. Is like
me too.
I'm an honest person, and I put it all out there.
Right.
If you leave any information out that I think is important, I know. Like I can, for some reason, I could just tell.
Yeah.
And that was how it felt that first day. I was like, we're not being given everything right now. Like this is not the whole truth.
The first day of the shutdown.
Yeah. Where I'm like,
I was freaking out. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then everything shut down, and then me and my girl were trying to go get toilet paper, and that's when I was like, "What the fuck? This is kind of crazy now."
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for like a couple of weeks, it was in my head, but then after, like, just when that summer happened, I was like, "There's something fishy here."
Yeah.
There's something fishy.
So weird. And I because I was working at Trader Joe's when it all happened. And I remember starting my shift, and like the place was fucking empty. Like the shelves were just like empty. Yeah. Everything was gone. And like just being ignorant and dumb, I'm like, what's going on? What happened? I legit didn't know because I really try and stay away from the news. I open my phone, I look at like the NPR app, and that's it.
You have to, dude. You go down a rabbit hole.
I'm not emotionally intelligent enough. I'm not. Sorry, I'm not emotionally stable enough to read the news anymore. It scares me. It all scares me so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I open it, and I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. I can't I can't read about China anymore.
My thing is I don't even know what the fuck is real anymore, dude. Like what stage and what, because you can only just go based off what you read.
Yeah.
And like obviously throughout history we've been proved time again.
And who are these people writing to?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. We don't know them, dude.
I don't trust BuzzFeed. Fuck. There's got to be one more. No.
Well, I mean, okay. So
which ones do you believe?
The one that got me started was the fucking Denver airport. You ever heard of that?
No.
So, dude, there's these paintings in the Denver airport.
Oh, this is already great.
Where literally like murals, dude, of just the weirdest shit. It's like some guy dressed up in like a mask, like a gas mask, and like straight up USSR fucking army green army.
This is the
shit.
painting.
This is Yeah, this is the painting. Has guns, but every person in the nation, like every person throughout the world, are handing in their weapons. And it's just crazy stuff like this. Like there's murals about, I think there was one about sickness.
Okay.
And then and I saw this back in 2012. This was like the very first conspiracy theory I got into because of obviously 2012, the Mayans were going to kill the world. So that's what kind of got me going. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it from the top view, the airport, it's the runways are in the sign of the swastika. If you look at
I think I have heard of it.
Yeah, if you look at the cage, or to like keep people out, how it's made, it's to keep people in, and they say that that's underground, like
into the airport.
Yeah, keep them in, and they say that underneath it, there's like this huge underground, like where it's almost like a camp.
Yeah.
So that was the first one I got into, and that shit freaked me out because it was a video on YouTube, and they showed you these murals, and it was like, dude, you go to an airport, you're not fucking thinking about finding murals like this, like about fucking sickness and death. And then the COVID thing happened, so it got me going in it again. Because I was crazy in the beginning with conspiracy theories. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm fine. I got to get out of this. And then COVID happened, and then it just made me remember this. And I just went to a deep, dark hole, dude. Where reading about everything, paranoid about everything.
The trouble with, like, the Nazis just have there's just so many, like huge businesses in the States that are like founded by Trader Joe's is an example. Like founded by Nazis. Yeah.
No way.
Like
NASA.
NASA.
Warner von Braun, dude.
Fucking what's her nuts? Not Gucci, but like one of the
Hugo Boss.
Okay, wait, that's one of them.
Yeah.
What's her name? I think
it's a woman.
Yeah, I feel like she used to date like Ice-T or something.
Oh, the blonde chick.
Am I thinking of like it's some Louis Vuitton, maybe. I don't know. Bill Burr has like a shtick about it in his newest special at Red Rocks, where he talks about like she was like known for blowing Nazis.
Oh, I do remember this. Yeah, right? I do remember seeing something like that.
Oh wait, really quick before in the interest of truth and honesty, I loved Pete Holmes growing up. Like I really loved.
Holmes?
Yeah, the stand-up. Do you know him?
No.
Oh,
Pete
he's
Holmes?
great. Yeah,
no.
Yeah. JP and I really bond over Pete Holmes.
Okay.
I love Pete Holmes. He's got a bit. In like his first Comedy Central special about what is it? It's like life and death and like baking a cake, and it's like somehow equated to like birth, you know. And it's like you invite someone over to make a cake, you get your eggs, your batter, and you preheat the oven, and the second before you put it in, you fucking throw it up, and you're like fuck your cake, dude. And Burr does the exact same thing about abortion. I watched the special last night.
Yeah. I know that bit. Yeah.
Some parallel thinking like that.
Like it's like it's abortion in the cake.
Yeah, and I guess it's normal because they're like, oh, you got a cake in the oven or whatever. It's actually a bagel. Yeah. Making a bagel. Anyway, but the Denver airport, that's crazy.
That's a good one, dude.
I saw this when you said airport. It made me think about. I saw this amazing TikTok. I love anything, like any kind of like investigative thing like this. There's two that are like this. I think it's the same guy. The first one about airports is he's like, I wanted to find the most used toilet in the world, or like maybe in the States.
God,
in the States. So he gets all the stats for air traffic and everything, and like where people land the most. And of course it's in Atlanta airport, but he gets it down to the terminal. That gets it.
God, dude.
These are like always the best bits too, where people have done so much research and prep into like pinpoint. It's so fun. He's like, so it's Terminal C, Gate 14, and he's like, it's the men's bathroom. He's like, of course. He's like, and it's the third stall from like the left or whatever. And he like has like the numbers of like how many people on average on a daily basis go into this bathroom, which is it's just fucking crazy. And the second guy, that's what made me think of the airports with the Nazis. But this guy, he's like, he does that TikTok trend where like people are just talking to themselves or whatever. He opens the door to himself on the computer. Yeah. He's like, "Hey, you ever think about who eats the last hot dog on any given day?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "You ever thought about who eats the last hot dog on any given day?" He goes, "No, not really. Come with me." "What?" "Come with me." And then he does like this whole thing, and it goes down to like, he's like, so you have to focus on like when does the day begin and end? And he gets into like the time zones, and he's like, okay, none of these islands have people living on them, so you got to go over here. It's like there's like one hot dog place on this island of like 5,000 people or whatever. And he's like buys a ticket to go and have the last hot dog of the day. It's so stupid, but that's my bread and butter. I love that shit.
That shit sounds so random, bro.
It's so funny though. Just any amount of just like dumb prep for something so stupid. Yeah. It's always so funny. So fucking funny. The amount of research going into that.
Well, dude, I hate to cut this off short because honestly, this has been the fucking funnest podcast yet.
Hell yeah,
seriously, dude.
Thank you, dude.
This has been great.
I knew it would be fun.
Really
quick, shout out to I'll do my plugs, but shout out to Dot's Homestyle Pretzels. I eat pretzels almost every day. Dot's the only bitch that I buy now. Okay, you got to go to a CVS. They don't sell these at like gas stations really much anymore unless you're in the Midwest. But I love Dots. These are the OG ones, just original seasoned. The honey mustard ones are good too. Anyway,
Dots, hook it up with a sponsorship, dude. The Successful Failure, thanks to Ben Nickelson.
Please, dude. I will. Oh my god, I eat like I make this my daily meal sometimes. I just eat pretzels. Anyway,
tastes good and nutritious.
Yeah. But yeah, please follow Shenanigans Mike on Instagram at Shenanigans Mike. We're working on our special with Comedy Dynamics right now. I'm sure JP did JP talk
not
to you about
that deep. No, he didn't say the name.
Bleep that part out.
I got you.
with a comedy production company, and just my personal Instagram at Ben Nickelson. You can book me for stand up and photography.
Perfect, Ben.
This has been great, dude.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. Oh, yeah.
Cheers,
dude. Appreciate you, Ben. All right, bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.